What's up, y'all? Kendama back with another Kendama video. Today's video is part 3 of my collection. Oh my gosh, there's a lot more of my collection to go. There's a bunch of different other brands that have groups, and then a bunch of miscellaneous stuff that we're gonna go through today. We're just gonna run through them, see if I can be faster this time. First off, we got the Terra Kendama section. Starting off, we got this China LBB when the LBB was still made by Terra Kendama. A little bit bigger, was a game changer. Again, another big Kendama back in about like 2016, 2017 that they made, which is super sick. This is on a Rhino Clear, little, whatever they call it, the tattoo thing. It's a little egged, but I actually got this full setup complete at Battle 2022. I bought this from Depot, and then I got this in the giveaway, which was super sick. Next up, we got an A-Room plus a Terra sticky China Tama. This thing is probably one of my favorite Ken shapes from Terra. It doesn't have the best lunar bounce or anything like that, but it's just a fun sesher because of the in-hand feeling. Definitely a smaller shape, and again, I got this from Depot, and then I also got this Tama from Depot, another one of my Depot setup things that I purchased, but I don't think it comes like this. I think this Tama comes on another shape, and then this Ken comes on another colorway or something like this, but A-Room from Terra Kendama. I got another little bit bigger. This is one of the ones they made in-house, I think, but it's a full maple and it has some crazy grain. This thing is super dope, and it has that nice red Terra seal. I got this off FKC. Such a good deal too, I think. It was like 40 bucks or something. So for a hand-turned Terra Canada-made Dama, couldn't really go wrong with that, so I have one of these. And then I have another little bit bigger. I have so many little bit biggers. It's actually kind of crazy. I lied. This is actually called the Prefect. This is a Prefect on an LBB. I have another actual LBB, and this is one of the, made in a different country, not China made, but they're full beach LBBs. They sold these on the website. I won this on a Terra doubles contest thing that I did with a friend, and we won it, and it was sick. This is mine right here. I seshed this thing. It was probably one of the coolest performance Damas that I had. Super fun to play with. Terra had some really cool stuff, and I need some more Terra stuff in my collection. Terra Kendama, if you're watching this video, let's work something out. Now that the Terra section is done, let's get into the Chrome section. I've got the newest Chrome that I got, and one of the, I think this is from the second video that I've done with Chrome. This is the new Sleigh Dog. It takes a bunch of different pieces from the old Sleigh Dog stuff, some of the new design elements from the CK, the AK, all that stuff, the 1%, all that kind of stuff. Comes on that new rubber China Clear and all ash. Super fun to play. I like playing this thing a lot. Some weird design choices on some of the things, but overall just a fun jammer right here. Super sick. This is the Philip Eldridge Pro model right here. This thing is super sick. The weights are so bad. I have such a light Tama and such a heavy Ken, but this thing, again, one of the biggest things to set Kendama forward with just a thicker, bigger shape, and it played super awesome. I think 2 videos ago I was talking about the Kusa Craft Plus, and these are the Tamas I was talking about that everyone would put that on. So these have really good batches of sticky clear and awesome Kens. And I won this from another Chrome weekly thing. They were giving like a Kendama away week, and I won this. Got to keep it proper with the Chrome Mini. This is like a small Mini before companies were actually taking Mini seriously. This is not that playable, but it's just a fun one to have around, and has nice rubber paint from this is probably like 2015 or something. So yeah. Chrome Vikings. Only a couple people know what this is, but this was Chrome's plus size Dama for people with bigger hands. Definitely a performer Kendama, and definitely an awesome size. I really enjoyed playing this one. I think I won this again from Chrome for some random thing, or I bought it off their site for some random thing. This is super duper sick. It's that zebra walnut maple design. Who misses when Chrome used to do this stuff? Because I kind of miss when Chrome used to do this stuff. These designs were super sick, and just overall, honestly, if you got these Kenwood designs with this paint they use now, that would be chef's kiss. Up next, something I enjoy playing a lot. This is the Too Good shape right here. This thing is super sick on this orange colorway with all these burns on it. I did an unboxing. One of the homies from Chrome reached out and just sent me a bunch of stuff. He's super kind, and I picked this one to play. This one is super fun, and review coming on this at some point because I played this enough. All right, this next section is a fun section. This is just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of companies that I don't have too much of, or like very little of, and I'll try to group the ones in together. They're kind of everywhere, but there's some companies I have like enough of, but just the rest of whatever I have and that I can see. First off, I got this Kendama ISR hog shape burned by one of the Snorkel Rocks owners, Seth. This thing is super sick. This burn is tight. And then obviously I got this Keelan Tama bamboo. Look at that design by Keelan. Super sick. Love Keelan. And it's cleared with crystal clear from Adrian of Emblema. Such a dope setup. I love this setup a lot. And honestly, I just need to get this bevel boosted, and I will sesh the crap out of this thing even more than it already has been. Next up, I got this full R&D. Honestly, one of the best best shapes that I've ever played, and I'm kind of upset that they aren't doing anything else right now. They have some really, really cool clear. I played their clear on a couple different things, and it's held up pretty nice. The paint design is kind of different, like this kind of half marble thing, and then the no logo thing I actually like a lot, but their stall points were great. Just everything about this shape was really great, and yo, Peyton, let's see a little bit more from you, because you got some good stuff going. You just need to make more of it. I don't know if y'all know this, but this is a Steez Kendama right here. Steez was a popular player back in like 2013, 2014, and there's some controversial stuff around him about like shipping or whatever, but honestly, one of my heroes when I was playing Kendama. He had one of the sickest Kendama collection videos ever, and I would watch that thing and rewatch that thing all the freaking time. This was one of his last batches of Kendamas he had. This is called the Snowball paint. It was just some like really crazy grippy rubber, and now that this is old, it doesn't really grippy like that anymore, but this was so sick. I think I won this from a giveaway that he was doing or something, but it's this nice black and yellow, just single stripe, and then he was doing like this vinyl logo thing. Don't know what happened to him. Hope he's playing Kendama still. I hope he's doing okay. He had like a car wrapping thing, but always just a cool guy whenever I got to interact with him over messages or whatever, but Steez Kendama right here. One of my favorite setups, oh, actually, do I have the second one? I got two Dogma shapes. This one's just on a maple. It has that DBZ Tama Kendama Tama. This thing is super fun to play, and the maple one super slaps for lunars. This one also slaps for lunars, and it has that Anubis on the top with the orange and red fade. This isn't just a Kendama thing, but again, not the biggest fan of bamboo with splices, but that's okay. These are super fun jammers right here, and very interesting shape. The man Jacob is like one of the nicest dudes ever. I got to meet him in person at Salt Lake City last year. Just super dope and super awesome to talk to, and just like honestly one of the genuinely nicest people I've ever met in my life. Kendamas. These right here are some gems. This is casual Kendama. This was like a 2014 brand, and the big thing with this is that they were doing Yugen tips like right after Iwata started doing Yugen tips, and that was a whole big thing because people were like, oh, you're copying and blah blah blah, and there's gonna be a patent. But I won this in a contest for, I don't know if it was a giveaway, if it was a contest, but I won too, and that was really cool. That was like one of the first giveaways I won, but this one, just the paint is gone. Like, you can tell I seshed the crap out of this thing. I got a balance hole in it because the lunar balance was not good. This thing, I thought this was the best Kendama ever at the time. It was a good Kendama, but yeah, there's a fresh one right there. Look at that gold paint. Look at that gold paint. Look at that logo, casual Kendama. Look at that fresh, I don't even want to do it because I might break it. Look at that fresh Mugen tip spike thing. Dope. Oh, I got a Deal With It Jared Porter pro model. This thing is so sick. Growing up and seeing him release his pro models, literally them releasing a bajillion iterations of that. I finally have one. I got this one at Battle 2023 because LOK did a giveaway, and I got that from their giveaway. And Jared Porter just randomly came out of the woodwork and got third place in pro, and thankfully he was there and he signed this for me. Just like such a cool dude, such a cool vibe, and just randomly plays Kendama. It comes out of nowhere, plays Kendama, and then we're just like podiums, you know, whatever. Okay, cool. Awesome Kendama to add the collection. Definitely a weird shape. I don't know how he played this thing, but it's a nice thing to have in the collection. This is a gem right here. It's just a little mashup of a birch RWB Kendama. I miss RWB Kendama. I try to get sponsored by them. I don't know if my sponsorship video is still up, but it's probably not. I entered in their contest for getting sponsored a long time ago. That fizzled out for whatever reason. This is their Res Kendama Ken shape when they helped Res Kendama make their resin Ken shape. I think one of their last iterations of it, but they did some hand-turned ones, and this is birchwood. But then I got that Sourmash GT Captain, super slick, not sticky at all, white on walnut. This is such a just OG, like 2014, 2015 players would freak out about this setup, but people don't care about it now. This is cool though. I freaking got about it. And it's a cool Kendama. This right here, Tyler Barnhouse, my guy, RTB, gave me this weird thing in my collection, a piece of Kendama history. BLK Kendama was a Kendama brand out in San Jose. The same person owned Kendama Syndicate all over San Jose. And this is one of his brand things that didn't really get released before they fizzled out. This has Samurai V2 right here on the cup. But honestly, it's just a basic China shape. Not a lot to differentiate it from other shapes, but they had these random plastic tips. This looks like a Caleb Kendama thing, but you know, whatever. Or like a stained then cleared Ken that's all blue, which is super interesting. And then this eggy, the most eggiest special ply Tama right here. But my man Tyler bought it off of Facebook Marketplace because I think the owner moved to the same city, or like around the same city, kind of near it. And some random dude just had a box of those Damas. Maybe he was giving them away from free. I don't know. But Tyler gave me one of these gems. Ah, ye old Yomega Kendama. This is such a funny thing and could have been so cool if Yomega did this right. But instead it has 2 big cups. And it has the smallest Tama ever. It has no bevel. Yeah, if they had made this like an actually good Kendama shape, this could have been a really cool thing. But instead, it's not. But it's a cool thing to have in the collection. I got this as a Secret Santa gift from someone at my high school. Oh my gosh, I have this Super Kendama Jumbo that is super messed up because they drilled the hole on the edge of the big hole inside of here. Joshua Grove was giving them, or not giving away, he sold them for like $5 at NACO, and me and Sean from SD were like, yeah, why not, $5. So we have these random jumbos, not necessarily the best paint or anything like that, but that's okay, and they're just cool, they're nice, they're fun to plink around with and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this Tama, because this Tama just like, oh my god, the way it hangs off this string is the funniest thing. You can't see it right now, but like, the way that, but like, this is flat. This is flat and the bevel's like that. This is one of my favorite setups right here. I actually need to put this somewhere where I can see it all the time. This is that Lofty Craft X Kelly Love Art collab that came on an Okenken. Changed it out with the Lofty Craft V1 shape, which was cool for its time. It mixes up a couple different shapes that were out at the time. But this design by Kelly was so sick. It has the Kahlua there and stuff, and it just, oh, so beautiful. Such a nice tracking stripe with all the art in the middle, and it just looks so good. Random plastic Kendama from Daiso. This thing is a sesher. No, it's not. But I got this at Daiso in Japantown SF on a trip with a friend, and this is more of a memories thing, but this thing's super funny to play. Like, J-sticking it is actually kind of like weird, but this thing, funny Dama. For memory's sake, it's a nice plastic one to pair with the Yomega one. Remember when I was talking about Steez Kendama earlier? Well, this is another Steez Kendama right here. This one's beat and thrashed, and oh my gosh, has it had a life. My first good Kendama, I think. My first Kendama ever, which I don't have anymore, was a Toy Smith, and this was my second Kendama, or third Kendama, I think. And my first good one, the snowball paint on this thing was crazy, and I really honed in on lunars on this thing. You can kind of see like how long that spike is ridiculous. The cups are small, the cups are sanded because I tried to revive it, and I kind of sanded the base cup too much. Hey AJ, help me please, and revive this Kendama, maybe, we'll see. But yeah, there's no base cup on this thing anymore because I sanded it flat basically. The string hole on this thing tore. Because, you know, just pulling on it and doing pull-ups, like 1-turn airplane was my favorite trick, and the top of that hole just split like it always does. But yeah, just a centerpiece of my collection, and I showed earlier in one of the other videos, this is what one of my collab toms with Kelly was based off of. Such an interesting vertical stripe colorway thing, but overall just such a dope Dama. I have to have at least one of these in my collection. I got this Sunrise Black with a gold stripe, which is super sick. Sunrise has some really interesting paint and has some of the best gunslingers because it has such like a blocky shape. Definitely not the best lunar balance, but that's okay. But we got that seal. That's what I mainly got it for, because that seal, you can't really, there you go. That seal, you don't really get on anything anymore. It's that European seal. Doesn't mean anything. It just means it's a European seal. But honestly, fun to pull out sometimes. And look how small that bevel is. Look how small that bevel is. I got 2 Yumus right here. I got that Yumu, whatever shape they came out with, super ahead of its time, because it has stepped cups, and I think they were the first people to do stepped cups. It has this little grip thing right here for your birds and stuff, which is crazy. It has the biggest logo, thin shape, good for slings, good for lunars. It had like a thicker section right here where the sword is. So then when you pushed it down all the way, it wouldn't go too far. Like literally all the things you could do to Kendama so that it's good. Honestly, kind of sad that Yumu fizzled out. But this was such a good Kendama for the time. And also some of the best paint. I don't know what he did with this paint, but like the Yumu Pro Racing paint is some of my favorite paint ever. It's so grippy and tacky without being like gross and sticky. I wish this is what sticky paint was nowadays, because it's super durable and super duper just dense, and I love it. I love it so much. We got a Yumu 2.0 right here, pink. I won this at Daiko Showdown, one of my first events that I went to, or I think the very first event I went to in Sacramento, hosted by Aldrin Aseke. It has the holes for the spikes and stuff, and these cups actually split in half. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty funny. But yeah, this same shape as a Zen, and has some cool, slick paint. But again, I don't know what Yumu did with this paint, but this paint is super durable for whatever reason. We got that gem right there. This is the sauce from Sourmash X KC Kendama China. This is a KC2. And oh my god, the Ken Garden logo is still down here. That's crazy how fresh this thing is. This sauce is probably one of the best conditioned sauces that exists right now because everyone thrashed this because it was one of the stickiest tamas you could get. It comes on that Brazilian cherry right there. So the tracking is kind of bad because the color of the tama is basically the wood. And then this Ken was actually pretty cool of its time too, again based off an Azor shape. Overall, just look at that thing. Look at that thing. I'm never gonna like completely sesh it and get its full potential, but that's okay. This thing is so grippy and it is crazy. Like for those who care about kendama history, this is one of the craziest kendamas. If you see one of these tamas, it probably looks like someone stuck it up their butt. Ooh, I got one of these res kendamas right here, and I won this at a Vacaville jam session that Danye hosted when he still played kendama. For whatever reason, the person I was going against, I got second at that event. They got to pick first and they didn't choose this one. OG Res was based off the Azora shape, and it has the Res Tama, which a lot of them did not come with. It was just the Ken. But this thing is definitely just so sick. Piece of kendama history. And Danye was a part of Kendama Masters, he carved KMZ in there, which is pretty crazy. This thing is just a nice piece of kendama history right here. Doesn't play the best at all and is super slick, but definitely just a fun one. Full resin kendama, yellowed, but who cares? Full resin kendama. Got a little mashup right here. We got the Do kendama right here, the Ken, just traditional size Ken. I got this Sulab Foul Clear, one of the first batches. This thing is super duper sick. Look at that silver white. It's super awesome. Came with a small bev, so I had AJ quad bevel boost that thing. I don't know why Sulab did 60mm tamas, but it went perfectly with this to Ken, and one of my favorite jammers when I want to do slings and just random stuff and want to feel like I'm playing with the small, normal size kendama. This is a good throwback and makes me feel just nostalgic about the OG days and how shapes used to play / feel with some of the modern hits on it. To has some crazy stuff. Love this stuff. Not locally, but you can get your Do in the States at Kendama Depot. This is a cool one off right here. This is a, oh wow, some of the rubber is coming off because that is how old this thing is. This is a Atlantic kendama. They were based out of Atlanta. And it has this full rubber, like washed white, whatever you want to call it, thing right here. This thing is crazy. I think his name was Adam. I don't remember. The dude with the beard who owned Atlantic Kendama, he was doing like a giveaway a day or something like that, and it was lace this trick and be the first one and tag me, and I laced the trick and tagged him first, and I got this, which was super cool and super interesting. Definitely not playable because this thing is like this thing will just grip and just stay and won't move. Like it'll rock before anything else because it's, yeah, I don't want to keep doing that because the paint's rubbing off now, because that's how old this thing is, and that's how rubber paint gets after a couple years. Super fun one. Cool piece to have. Definitely an interesting kendama from Atlantic Kendamas. I got some 365 Mural Series damas right here. This is that orange and black one with the sparkle and stuff on this. I enjoyed playing the heck out of this one. Love it a lot. The only thing is just the sparkle on the sticky clear. Definitely a weird thing. They haven't done it anymore, so it's not really a complaint anymore. This is just, I happened to get their first drop, and that's what they did, and that's how it felt on the sticky paint. Definitely well-rounded shape. Definitely one of my favorite shapes I played this year. And then this one's a special one right here. This one's the Purple Heart one with the Kush Clear that I got at Battle 2023. Purchased this thing straight from Nick Stodd, and Nick even told me he liked the video that I posted for them. This is just a beautiful kendama. Look at that purple heart on the white on the purple heart. That's just ridiculous. We'll sesh this thing at some point because it has that Kush on there. Super duper amazing, sick kendama, beautiful, and I love it. We got another Sulab right here on one of the Sulab Kens. I don't know what it is. It used to have a deathly sharp spike, but this is actually like a really cool basic kendama shape. I like it a lot from Sulab. And then we got a really nice batch of Foul Clear. I got this at SLC. Someone was trying to sell it. Basically sold it to me for retail, so like 60 bucks. And I was like, yeah, cool. And this foul paint, honestly, foul paint's one of my favorite paints. I need to sesh it a little bit more because this thing kind of got lost and I didn't know where it went. And now I know where it is. It's in my hands and I'm going to play it. But yeah, Foul Clear, some next level stuff from Sulab. I love it a lot and I wish they did more drops of it. Next up, this is one of my recent videos, the Hound Kendama with the improv shape right here. Definitely a cool shape. Definitely enjoyed playing it so far. Comes on that new China sticky and you see all the details I talked about in my video. This is such a dope kendama right here. The guys who own Hound Kendama up in Canada, just the dopest guys. Had a couple conversations with them, and yeah, they're doing some big things. I love when kendama players make own kendama companies and do their own thing. It's sick. This is sick. You're sick. And yeah, Hound Kendama Ken, Improv 2. Ooh, this is a really OG thing. I think, I don't mean to like be a gatekeeper or anything like this, but only a couple people know what this is. This is a balanced kendama. They were a kendama company based out in Utah. You see that Buddha right there. That wasn't their logo. It's just one of their logos, I guess they had, but they hand painted a lot of damas, and I don't know what happened. Yeah, this has a cool colorway. This is jumbo with some maroon, some black, white speckles, which is really cool. And at one point, doesn't really smell like it anymore, but it was scented and it smelled like strawberries. This thing is thrashed. My friend got this for me for Christmas or like my birthday or something. But this thing is super fun. I need to change the string on it. It's super short. But this thing is super fun to play. Like playing this thing. At the time, it was like a whole big deal and stuff. It was the first jumbo kendama in the group that anyone had of my friends. So yeah, super sick pickup right here. Shout out Hartej, super dope slayer, used to play back in like 2016, 2018 era of kendama. But right here, he sold me the Weekend of the Woods res exclusive thing that they did. Just wanted some more Dave memorabilia, and Dave is the one who organized that event. As you can see, super gross. It's sticky and gross and the paint's coming off. That's how you know that sticky paint is old. It says Weekend in the Woods right there, which is super dope. And then it has, you know, just the res with the sparkly black, and then the res guy sands it down, and then underneath is purple, which is super duper dope. Super awesome thing to have. Love this a lot. Super awesome piece of memorabilia and something to whip out in place sometimes, which is really cool. This is not kendama, but it is a pill. I have one. You need at least one of these if you're a kendama player. I suck. You know, that's okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. There. Okay. Nope. Cherry pill. Super sick. It's a fun one. This right here is such a fun shape, and I wish they made a second one because there were a lot of things they could have done with this. But the Tama Kendama TK1, and this has the Katara Tama. Avatar is one of my favorite just shows of all time as a kid. But the Avatar Tama is super sick, that water tribe symbol. And then the TK1 is just overall just solid shape, keeping it shorter so it feels a little bit more traditional, but having just bigger cups all around. Just such a dope kendama in general. I'd love to see more from them if they can do more stuff. Fit a really weird niche in the community, doing Tamas only and then kind of going into Kens later. Overall solid kendama. Appreciate them sending this out for me for a review video, all that kind of stuff. This thing was dope. Next up is my KenCo collection. I don't really want to talk about how that went down and stuff because it was very not good, but we're going to go over the stuff I have from them. So I got two Zens. This one is a Natty Zen. I got this from the homie. He just has a bunch of these who met one of the owners who had stock or whatever. Just a Natty Zen. I tried to play this for Natty in November 2022. Just didn't happen because this thing has really bad lunar balance. Same thing with this one. This is one of the Sweets collab things that was supposed to happen, happened later because Sweets found him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I have the red one. The red one is the coolest one. I bought this at SLC literally like right after I got off the plane. And same deal with this one. This one has really bad lunar bounce, but such a sick colorway though. That paint is so sick. And anytime Sweets does a hand painted thing, I always want it because the hand painted stuff is always gonna play better. I don't care what you say, it always is going to play better. I got one single Shenzu, and this was also something I found at a Goodwill. This thing is old. Look at that. The kid, whoever owned this, put Big Cup in the Big Cup. It has some really, really weird, like matte paint that does not feel good to play at all, and it doesn't even grip or anything like that. Look how small that bevel is. It's even smaller than some of the ones I've already mentioned. And then the kid, I thought they like painted over this, but no, they just put marker in some of the chips, which is really funny. But yeah, Shenzu's. Rounding off the KenCo part of my collection, we have this Jumbo Glow KenCo right here. When KenCo was liquidating, these were $5. So I had to get it. This one does actually glow in the dark. It has some of the chippiest, grippiest paint too right there. You can kind of see that. And then, yeah, that feels like chalk. Pretty cool. Definitely like a fun novelty kendama. Just another jumbo kendama. I wish this part of my collection was bigger because I love every person on this team and I love just their shapes and stuff, but I have only 2 Lock Studios kendamas. This one is the first one I got that Danny sent me. It's got that locked mark on there. You know what I'm saying? It got that OG Lock Studios mark right there. And then it is tatted up by the Tyler Barnhouse on this Scarce Kendama. I only have one Scarce Kendama. Quad boosted bevel. You know how big those bevels are. Just such a cool setup. I played the crap out of this thing. One of my favorite setups at one point. I would play this thing almost every day when I was playing it. Well, this is why I was number 2 in 2022. And then I also have the Deadbolt, another just thicked up, bigger cupped version of the lock shape. Super duper sick, just super awesome. And then I got this at CKC, so I had to throw it on that bamboo CKC Tama. Me and Keelan had the same setup. He got his first, so I kind of copied him, but that's okay. Such a fun lunar kendama. It's really chunky and big, so like when you throw it and stuff, it's super cool. Definitely a fun one to sesh and definitely a cool shape that I played in 2023. So the deadbolt from Lock Studios. Next up, we got this LLK, the love handle with love tack, LLK, all that LLK kendama, woo! Recently did an unboxing on this. Definitely an interesting shape. Definitely had a lot of fun playing this thing. It has some weird things about it that you get used to, but it's definitely a fun one to have in my collection, and I love every person on LOK. Met them at Battle last year, and Tyler, my homie from SAC, is on that team. Just vibes all around, and they're all super, super duper cool. This shape and Kendama is super duper cool, and I'm super excited to see what they release in the future. Rounding off my collection video, part 3, we're going to be going over my Evo Kendama collection. So before they were Evo Kendamas, they were Kendama custom creations, and this is an elemental. Don't know which version of the elemental it is, but Kyle is one of the best dudes ever, and this was one of the Kendamas he did before he did Evo Kendamas. It only has one string hole, the other side doesn't have anything on it, which is crazy. It has almost flat stall points, which is also crazy. Smallest cups, but this thing is heavy hickory. This is the heaviest hickory Ken that I've ever felt for the size. Super duper dope piece of Kendama history. I won this in like a giveaway for someone he sponsored, I think. Yeah, super awesome Kendama right here. Back when COVID just hit, I wanted a hand-turned Dama so I could do a video, and I bought this hand-turned just Maple Ken Ash Tama. Has the Evo logo right there, but one of his first shapes that he kind of did when he was kind of doing more updated shapes. This thing still plays really good, and I don't know if Kyle has the dimensions for this or if he changed them a lot or anything like this, but I played this, just picked it up recently, and this thing plays so freaking good, and it doesn't even have a balance hole. It is ridiculous how good this thing plays. Honestly, had a blast playing this thing. Look how big that bevel is. That bevel is huge. Hand-turned Evo right here. This thing is super playable. Love this thing a lot. Second thing I got from Kyle from Evo Kendama is this GV2. Honestly, one of the best Kendama shapes I've ever played. It just plays super well, and it was so close to being perfect. Literally, the only thing I don't think they figured out was the, the balance of this balance hole. It was too small in this one. They made it a little bit too big on the second version of the GV2. They needed to find that, and it would have been locked in. But dude, just the way this thing flipped, felt in hand, the slings, the lunars, everything was good on it. Came on Ghost Clear, which controversial, did kind of have some durability issues and stuff. Regardless, kind of figured it out when you put it on a natty. You just, oh my God, such a good shape. Such an awesome, awesome shape from Evo Kendama, and I might throw this Tama, I might throw a different Tama on this Ken, because that's just how good this Ken was when I played it. At Battle 2023, Kyle graciously handed me an Evo GV3. I am going to make a video on this, even though they've already released another shape, just to do my due diligence, but I've played this thing, definitely have some interesting opinions on it based off the GV2. I do have it on a Lofty Craft Apex 2 Kendama Depot, spliced Tama right here. Definitely an interesting one. Lunar super good. Cool in-hand feeling too. Such a cool shape, and thank you, Kyle, for giving this to me so I could do a video on this. This is super sick. Latest Evo Kendama thing I got, which is actually older than the last thing I showed you, is this Pineapple Kendama, rest in peace Pineapple Kendama, X Evo Spectraply right here, which is super duper sick. This thing plays super fun. Another Spectraply that's just a little bit hard to see when you're playing it, but that's okay. And then I got this on that Oken Pharaoh Tama. They need to make more of these things. This is one of the sickest Tamas. Had a really good batch of Revo on it too. And this thing is a lunar monster for sure. And it does stall well as well, just because of how grippy the paint is on the stall point. You can hear it sometimes, which is kind of ridiculous, but such a pretty Kendama. I like putting together some pretty setups. What can I say? Oh, whew. That was part 3 of my Kendama collection. There is a lot of stuff in my Kendama collection. And there's still one more part of the video of stuff that I need to find during this move that got lost. So part 4 will come out when I kind of got that stuff checked out and under control. Like, there are a bunch of things on the top of my head that I don't know where they are and need to find before I make the final part of my Kendama collection thing. And also, by the time I release that, I will probably have more Kendamas that will be added to collection, which I will just add continuously. So for now, this is the end of the Kendama collection series. Let me know in each of the videos what one was your favorite Kendama from each video. Let me know if you want to know more about one of these Kendamas, if they mean anything personal to me, or if you want to know more about what the Kendama is, all that kind of stuff. Loved doing this, actually, even though it was a pain to get all of these and put them in one place and have them on my floor and then picking them up and showing you. It was super fun. I got to talk about one of my most nostalgic, just happenings in my Kendama journey through looking at each and every one of these and dissecting each and every one of them. I loved it, honestly, and I'm glad I can make this video for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and hit post notifications so you can be one of the first to watch these videos when they come out. And obviously, sharing the video goes a long way for this channel. This is Elijah from Kendama, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.